Intro time. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. When we win the game, we're gonna dance like this. I'll do the gritty, even though I'm kind of crappy. This is how I go, dancing like a 2-year-old.
Let's go, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie.
Welcome, everybody, to the Streakers Island podcast. No, I have not been drinking liquor. It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Chazzy, the CEO, who found the lifeboat.
Yes.
I'm shining down here, boys. Big game 6.
We have Lane Dashing Dashco. And we have Mr. More for your money.
Woo!
So, Dan, right off the hop, are you trying to bring some championship pedigree? And Chazzy, are you trying to remind everyone that Toronto teams suck?
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. Take your page off your book, JMO. You did this at the beginning of the playoffs. You put on your Argos championship hoodie. I'm doing a Hoffel hoodie today, so I got my T-shirt from 2022. The Argos won the Grey Cup last year, the last MLSC team to win a championship. So hopefully we got to bring out some good vibes for the Maple Leafs tonight. So let's go.
Good vibes only.
Right.
So Chazzy, leave. No, I'm kidding. So, how's everyone feeling right now?
Good.
Dan says he's feeling good. Chazzy, how are you feeling right now? You still confident the Leafs are going to blow it?
Oh, you know what? I hope for the best for you guys. I'm more interested on how you guys are feeling, how you're coping with the next hour and a half before game time. How you think about what you're thinking about. What are your thoughts on? I don't know. The only guy that scored a goal in game 5 is now in the press box. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear about how you guys are feeling going in. What I think Lane put it earlier. 9 years ride on this game. Is that what it was?
Pretty much.
So, Lane, why do you think 9 years rides on this game? Which, by the way, I totally agree with you. But what is your logic? Not the rapper who just talks about being biracial every 6 minutes. But what's your logic?
Just because this is it. Like there's the excuses that time is over. You've done this for 9 years straight. This has been the same thing year in, year out. I've seen this movie. This is like Fast and the Furious. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't see Vin Diesel and The Rock and them steal 100 cars and go around Brazil with their $100 million. Like, no, I'm done with it. It's over with. I don't know. There's just it's the time for talk is over. You have one game left, and I'm not even honestly. I think my rant is over because I said everything I need to say. At this point, you got to prove me wrong.
I guess that's why I'm feeling good because I love the Fast and Furious movies, all 9 of them. So,
well, Dan, I don't. I don't.
Vin Diesel would say family.
Yeah, family.
I was going to say you cannot criticize the Vin Diesel.
He sings karaoke, you know. He says the best karaoke ever.
I don't know if you guys have seen him sing karaoke. It's absolutely terrifying. But just since you guys bring up the lines, you guys want to go over the lines for the Leafs tonight?
Sure.
So these were the lines as of warm-ups this morning, brought to you by TML updates, included by saying, by the way, Berube's already said he is not separating Matthews and Marner. It didn't really work in the regular season, so they're not doing it now. I actually respect it. I respect it. Like, I think you got to live and die with this core until it dies. It's not dead yet. It's on life support. Chazzy wants to pull the plug. Dan's in front of him.
I'm hoping for the organ transplant.
So when we look at the lines coming into tonight's game, these were the lines as of warm-ups. So the morning skate, Nyes, Matthews, Marner. Holmberg gets moved up to the second line with Tavares and Nylander.
That's strange.
We have McMahon, Domi, Patches, Lorentz, Lawton, and Yarn Croak. And I kind of projected something like this lineup. I thought we'd go back to closer to a game 1, round 1 lineup, except with Patches in instead of Nicky Robertson.
Did you have Holmberg on the second line?
Yes, I did.
They did.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And you know what? Holmberg has had some success on that line. Nylander's been the only one going on that line this series. And then people are going to say, well, Nylander doesn't have points in his last 2 games, but he's had like 10 breakaways.
Oh, it's crazy chances he's
he's had a lot of breakaways. And I don't really see him as the issue, right? So Toronto gets goals.
Yeah.
We already got Shades
He's
coming in.
pretty
A
good.
confident Leaf. I don't know if he's a Leaf fan. He's not a Leaf fan, is he?
No, definitely not.
Senators. He's out of the nation's capital.
He's a Sens fan.
And a Red Blacks fan. But
That's
I
why
know-
CFL
I'm
coming
season
soon.
seat holder at the Red Box.
0 changes to the Leafs defense, which I don't think the defense has necessarily been the issue. I mean, Chris Tanev took responsibility for a game that he says was his fault that I don't feel it was.
What?
That's
No.
just the kind of guy he is. You really? Oh, good Lord. So you blame Chris Tanev for scoring 1 goal?
No, of course no. I'm saying the opposite. I said, it's anyone's fault but Chris Tanev. He was Chris Tanev and McCabe, one of the few people that showed up to that game. I think the one positive spot for the Maple Leafs that deserves an A+++ is their defense. Like, they think about Bednar and Oliel, your bottom 3. Like, they would be a 2 pairing in any other team. Like, they got a very strong defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'd like to see more out of Riley and Carlo right now. And that's
No. Wiley's
Yeah.
playing really good. Carl's playing good.
Carlo's a negative player with no points. He's not.
That's
he's-
okay.
You watched that Jets game last night with Luke Shen being the human eraser. I wish we had
Yeah.
Luke Shen over Brandon Carlo right now, and I will keep preaching that to the choir.
Yeah, but Luke
He
said wasn't
getting-
an opposite thanks to doofus.
Is Coach
It
getting
wasn't
heat?
thanks to Dubas.
Is Coach getting heat for keeping Shen out from the fans, or no?
Not really. The fans there, I think we're just getting heat for being down 3 games to 1.
Yeah.
I think that was more what
If they
the
win
issue-
Game 6, look out for Game 7. That
game's gonna be nuts.
It's almost like tonight. It's you get Game 6, Game 7's. You're at the craps table throwing the dice.
I hate to say it, but after watching Winnipeg, I feel a little more confident Winnipeg's going to get it on 7 than I do Toronto. I hate saying that, but it's
I don't
gut
agree
feeling.
with you. Because Winnipeg, had that complete disaster of a game the other night, and they found a way to come back and win the next one. I think Toronto can do the same thing, right? But looking at these lines tonight, is it actually? It's not Matt Murray starting, is it, Alex?
No, it's Wall.
He wants Matt Murray to start.
Oh, Matt Murray 4 starting goalies tonight. Oh, so he's obviously got Joseph Wall on a short leash. How
I
good
think
is that
Wall's
leash
fault.
tonight in Game 6?
I have to agree with Alex.
That is a first on the Streakers Island podcast, Dan and Alex agreeing.
Oh, I like Alex. I like Alex. I agree with him all the time.
Congratulations to Dan Moore and Alexander for the first time ever on the Streakers Island podcast. They agree.
We do agree. What are we talking about?
And thanks for playing. You do never agree. Alex
Yeah, we
always says
do.
bring in Robertson.
Yeah, true.
Let's
Well,
get Martin Jones back.
Honestly, I would.
I agree. Yeah.
Have Martin Jones back. Dan, you got to move your microphone. And yeah, I'm also blown away by what happened in that Toronto game. down
Oh,
the bench.
yes.
And I think you do got to look at every single player on that bench. And I liked what Austin Matthews said about everyone needs to be accountable, right?
Yeah.
Like, mind you, I wish he would, instead of talking about it, I wish he would be like that on the ice. And I disagree with you a bit on playoff Bob. I don't think he's powered up because I don't think the Leafs have tested him enough.
No,
Oh.
not
It's
especially the
kind
last
of
2
like
games.
everyone says the last game he was hardly tested. Yeah, okay, Nylander had a couple breakaways. Besides that, the Leafs did
He's
nothing.
so nice, though, on that one.
Right, yeah.
Short corner.
I agree with
Oh.
you, Adam Walsh, another friend of the program.
Wow, comments
Adam-
are coming in left, right, and center, boys.
Yeah.
The boys definitely do need to play
Early.
better. And
You need
step
an
up.
early response. You're going to need to set the tone.
And again, back to Bobrovsky. Yes, he only allowed 1 goal in the last 7 periods, and I'm not denying that that's impressive. But it's kind of like Frederick Anderson in Carolina doing so well in the playoffs. When you're only facing 20 shots,
Not even.
it's not that. Okay, it's hard to be a goalie in the NHL, but if when the Leafs were getting 30 plus, I do agree on the beer league goal. Actually, I thought the goal Robertson got was pretty weak. So, and actually, I'm telling you why I think Nick Robertson got benched this game was after the goal in the fight on the ice. Robertson literally went into the fetal position. That's not playoff hockey.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's why he was benched. Did he get up though? He didn't get up?
No, he was literally like on the ice.
Turtle.
No Zamboni
like
drivers
turtles.
in net, please.
What?
No. No Zamboni drivers in net.
How nervous is Joseph Wall tonight?
I
don't think there's any nerves.
I think Joe Wall will be one of two things, either great or terrible. I don't think we're going to get a so-so game from him tonight. I think he's either going to be really good or he's going to be out of the net by the end of the first.
Matt Murray makes a comeback.
But I still do not put the blame on Joe Wall for this series whatsoever. He's your backup.
Oh my gosh.
Backup goaltender.
Like at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those four guys. The time for talk for those guys is over. They gotta respond. You talk about response. You talk about accountability, and I know that Treliving doesn't want to run just a 4-man team, but at the end of the day, those four guys all make over $10 million. Those guys are the highest paid players on the ice. They need to show up, and they're the only reason the Leafs are going to get into a Game 7. They got to play like they're with what they're worth tonight.
And I got to agree
They
with
have
Adam.
to.
I got to agree with Adam here. They need to get shots on early, right? Early and often. Like that's how they've had some success against Bobrovsky.
We could see a lot of goals tonight, no?
Yeah, I think so.
High scoring tonight?
It
A little
could
more
be.
wide open? No?
At least
I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a tight. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 2-1 game. I think the way I see it could be wrong. I think the Leafs got to score force, kind of control the game, just limit the offense of the Florida Panthers. Florida might get one, but I think the Leafs have to win a 2-1 game tonight. I think they did the defense is going to have to play good. I think Wall's going to have to be good in net. I think they're going to have to get 2 just good playoff goals, 2 or 3 just really good playoff goals. If they can do that, play solid defense and play like how they did in games 1 and game 2, just limit the shots, like kind of how like when it played last night. They only gave up like 15 shots and not a lot of them were that great. Winnipeg kind of played that like really quiet game, or like even how Edmonton took out Vegas. Like that's all you got to do. You just got to play tight defense, be on the puck, win the battles, score 1 or 2 goals, maybe 3 as a security blanket. Have your goalie make easy, basic saves. Don't let him out to dry. Don't let him out to hang on 3-1 giveaways and turn around and oopsie-doopsie turnovers in your own zone like Mitch Marner did in game 5 there with those Elvis Stoico move that he did.
Now, I want to bring up a point to both Adam Walsh and Shades here. Now, they were talking about – Shades talking about 20 shots on the first period.
Oh, you
Walsh
definitely got to get to him.
Get lots of shots. You look at game 1, Toronto outshot Florida 13-4 in the first period. They had some success. They won that game. Game 2. Okay, actually, game 2 was an anomaly. It was weird when they only got 20 shots and managed to put a lot of pucks in the net. But I do feel that what will be the game changer for Toronto will be getting shots on net early and often. Game 2, only 20 shots. But game 3, the Leafs did get 12 shots in the first period and had a hot start with 31 shots on Mr. Bobrovsky. The key for Bobrovsky is you got to get him busy, shooting high, and do it often.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be...
I think you had what?
Okay, I don't know about going after Marchand all the time. That's what he wants.
I'm down for that.
I'm not.
No.
The Leafs game is not to out-hit you. It's just why?
Because look back in the day when they made it to the third round. Yeah, Cujo was a big part of it. But who else was a big part of it? Ty Domi, Darcy Tucker, Brian McCabe, Gary Roberts.
Different era. The Leafs are not built that way now.
No.
Bring it back.
You can't bring it back in game 6 of the second round.
Why not?
I agree with Dylan here. You got to put knives back in front.
There you go.
Get Manny Nyes in front of the net. I think it's got to be shots of traffic as well, because that's how you beat Bobrovsky, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an interesting
Hey, don't let
game,
him
boys.
And Shades again, cough, Matthews. Matthews has missed the net more than anyone else in the playoffs so far this playoff.
Is he scoring tonight?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Matthews is. I think Matthews is going to actually, truthfully, I
Well,
think
he
Matthews
has
has a
to.
big game. I think he has a big game here.
By the way, that is a custom plop on the Streakers app, isn't it? For tonight's Streakers Island? And I was
don't know who took
amazed.
up my challenge, but I did challenge somebody.
Oh, yeah, that's why you did challenge me. I forgot
The
to accept it. Let
rivalry.
me accept that.
I think you got to take Toronto.
I think he
do.
has to score.
That's who you're leaning.
But isn't it crazy? Actually, good point about that. Do you know that Matthews has never really? They were talking about this on the radio. Matthews has never actually had like a playoff moment, and the only one that he has had was something that ended in disaster. Was the Columbus when he scored the OT winner, and then they lost in Game 5. But other than that, Matthews has never really had, especially in the playoffs, a game where it's like, wow, Austin Matthews won the Leafs a game. Tavares has had it, yes. Matthew Nyes has had it. Even Marner's had it. Nylander's had it.
When has Marner had? Because I would go back against Matthews and talk last year on that game where he came back from being sick and then scores on the breakaway game winner against Louis.
I was thinking the same thing.
I would also go the first playoffs we ever had in this group where Austin Matthews actually, funny enough, was outscoring Alexander Ovechkin in those playoffs. I think Matthews has just got to simplify his game and just get back to shooting the puck on net. That's got to be the key.
There was one round. I think it was.
You're going to talk about the Marner shot block.
Yeah, the Marner shot block, and not just a shot block, but he played fantastic that game. He got goals, set up a couple. He blocked a few heavy shots. Like, he was a great player that game.
We're gonna see though. This is a big game. I don't know if it's. A lot of people think this might be the last game where all four guys play on the same team, and I think
it might be too.
And you know what? When you say the core four of shyest in big games, I disagree because I don't put Nylander in this conversation. The guy usually steps up in elimination games. So I still say it's more of a 3 out of 4, which is bad. That's 75% of your core struggles in big games. But I'm still putting it in that 3 out of 4. And just before Craig, I just want to quickly answer another comment. Comments are flooding in faster than the basement when Dan forgets to turn off the washing machine. Austin Matthews is due a goal. This is why I say he's going to get a couple, maybe even a couple tonight. He's too good of a player to not score this long. Right? And he isn't known for going on these long goalless streaks. It's not Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews has been known as one of the most consistent goal scorers in the league since he's came into play in the NHL.
I think he needs his song back. Austin Matthews. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, Lane now is going to throw his headphones out from that disgust. but sorry, Chazzy, to your point.
No, that's all right. Move on.
It's not okay. I'm so sorry, Chazzy. Chazzy. The mic is yours.
The thought's gone.
But no, I think this could very well be the last game. I don't think it will be, but this could be the last game of the core four. And
let's take out Nylander of that core four. And what happens? Are you guys concerned about maybe a Shanahan in there
he's got to
making
be
these calls?
Oh, he's gone.
100%.
You lose this game, he's gone, yeah?
I
saw it in the headline. I'm like, wow.
100%. This is a so-called Shanna plan, and it's been terrible.
Wow.
Oh, if you're Shanahan, like, I don't even know how you could even want to stay. Like, if I was him, I'd I will fire myself.
Okay,
because here's how I look at it from Shanahan, right? Like, and this is what I heard a lot of people saying is that he kind of he's the kind of guy, he went to the casino and he put $100 down and lost and said, okay, well, let me put $300 down and then lost it. Yeah, but let me put $600 down on the same number and then lost it. Okay, let me put 1,000. And this went on and on and on and on until he walked away with nothing. Like, and that's kind of what's happened right now. He's doubled down, he's tripled down on these four players. We will, they're superstars. It's going to happen. but they haven't done it. And every year when he had chances to trade them, when he had a chance to maybe move one of them to bring in a top defenseman or a number one center or a number one defenseman, he never did. He said, no, we're going to stick with these guys no matter what till the end. And now you're in a position where Tavares might leave for nothing. Mitch Marner might leave for nothing. They might even have to ask Austin Matthews for a trade, depending if he may not even want to stay here, depending on the noise tonight. William Nylander, I'm assuming, will want to stay here. Morgan Riley might be up the door. Like, this is
No, he's not going anywhere.
Oh, I could see it. Oh, I could see it.
No.
2013.
I agree with Wayne that literally nothing is off the table. But find me a better defenseman than Morgan Riley for the price, and you're not going to do it.
You can't.
Maybe he wants to leave, though.
He does.
Maybe he'll.
I don't see him wanting to leave, considering he could have got 9 on open market and took 7.
12 years.
Toronto.
I don't know, man. I could see it. 12 years, man.
No. He's on cruise control here. He doesn't do anything.
Disagree with you there. Morgan Riley does a lot for
How
this
old
team.
Morgan Riley?
31.
Late 20s?
31. He's older
I
than
could see him
me.
maybe being like, you don't think after 12 years of seeing the same thing, he might be like, I'd like to move on?
Morgan Riley's a
see it.
good-looking dude, too.
Yeah, but Morgan Riley, if you actually go back and look statistically, he has good playoffs pretty much every playoffs.
He does, yeah.
His worst playoff in recent memory is still a +2 with 3 points in 7 games. This year, these playoffs, he's got 7 points in 11 games and is an even player. The year he had Luke Shen with him in 22-23 was a +11.
Yeah.
Like, in the playoffs. I mean, he's only been a minus player in the playoffs twice in his time in Toronto. And that was 2017 and 2019-2020. Like, I don't see Morgan Riley as the problem. I think he's part of the solution. And because I do think the Leafs have plenty of good players. And look,
of course they do.
We still have confident Leaf fans. And this is going to sound crazy when I say if they lose tonight to not hit the panic button, but don't hit the panic button. You still have guys to build. For Erik Karlsson and not JT. You know what? Can you imagine Karlsson and Riley running a power play? Right? Like, I mean, personally, I agree. I actually, and Dan can confirm this because we are brothers. We're brothers till the end of time.
Unfortunately.
Oh, come on. I even got my Tupac shirt on. I'm baller.
It's a joke. Whoa.
But I said back then signing John Tavares is a mistake.
You did, yeah.
Because you already had Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Kadri, and I'm like, that should be your core guys to run with. And we ran Kadri out of town for different reasons than Mitch Marner.
You did.
Before Chazzy, you say it's the same as Mitch Marner. Nazem Kadri was never a lack of effort in Toronto. It was stupidity, but it was never a lack of effort. And
I would agree with that.
Kind of where I go to Max Domi. He's like a less talented Nazem Kadri. Which is why I do wonder if this could be Max Domi's last game as a Leaf tonight. Not saying
no one's going to take him on that contract. $3 million.
You know what, Dan? People will. Because people.
What's he got? 2 more years?
3 more years, or 3.5.
It's not 3. He signed it last year. It was a 3-year deal.
Well, he signed a 4-year deal last year.
Pretty sure it was a 3-year deal, bud.
Pretty sure it's 4, bud.
Bud. You want Bud Holmes?
Hey, bud.
What, Bud Light Holmes?
So he's a $2.9 million contract salary, which isn't terrible.
No.
You're right, Dan. It was a 4-year deal, so he's got 3 more years left on his contract. Actually, his cap hit, though, for the next 3 years is up to 3.75.
I am the calculator.
However, could you see Toronto buying him out? Because there is a buyout option coming into this year. It would cost $3 million.
No.
No, so it wouldn't cost $3 million. It would cost about $1 million to buy him out.
On the cap, though.
On the cap.
I don't think so.
Sorry, that last comment. At the time you signed Tavares, Erik Karlsson was the other option.
Yeah,
is that
he was another big piece that was available.
Pietrangelo was also there.
Also, so was Pietrangelo. Like there were a lot of.
That would have been.
Can you imagine Riley, Pietrangelo, Muzzin?
So why did you address your defense when you could have?
Because they wanted to bring home the guy who had Leaf pajamas. That's what.
No, that's not why.
It was a PR stunt. It was a PR stunt. And
Jacob, I
says to me, John Tavares took a pay cut to come to Toronto. That's all fine and dandy. But if he's such a good player, how come the Islanders got so much better as soon as he left?
Jacob, I actually disagree with what you said. I don't think that's why they signed Tavares. I think they signed Tavares because Kyle Doofus, or Dubas as we like to call him here on the island, he didn't look at defense. He thought speed, skill, and offense wins you a cup. That was his whole motto the whole time, was bringing in fast, speed, skill. That was the only thing he cared about. He didn't care about defense. He didn't care about physicalness. He never really had physical players or players that played top-end defense. He just thought, if you put in guys who can skate down the ice in 2 seconds and guys who have good numbers and have statistical numbers that can back it up, that we're going to win a cup. That's how he looked at it, and unfortunately, he was wrong.
And I would say I think Brad Treliving has done a pretty good job retooling Dubas's. I'm going to say this right now, Dubas's mess. And I do agree here within the comment section, not with Brett Cooper, if anyone knows who that is, that the Leafs need to get a big goal to start off the game. I think the first goal could be really important in this one. I would actually argue it's a bigger goal for Toronto than it is for Florida, just for a whole confidence level. I think Florida, if they allow the first goal, they're not going to panic. I hate saying it. If Joe Woll lets in a bad goal to start off the game, it honestly could spiral.
It seems like the consensus here with the comments coming in on the island, it's you guys are expecting a strong, fast start.
Now, I do want to go back to a comment.
I'm not.
I want to go back to a comment at 6:39 from Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Murray for starting goalie tonight. If Woll lets in a bad goal right off the hop and he doesn't look confident, how early do you pull Joseph Woll?
Before the puck drops.
Well, that's
no. Man, Dan, why do you hate Joseph Woll so much? Like, I told
you, Joe Woll lost for us last year.
That's gotta be it.
He allows a deflating goal every game.
No, he
wants to be this franchise goal. Everyone's debating between him and Storhoff. There is no competition between him and Storhoff. Storhoff is a better goalie all year, and we're seeing it right now.
No, Dan, they don't score. How is the goalie supposed to do something when the team flat out just stands there and watches?
Because if Woll didn't allow that bad goal in Game 3, none of this would have been happening. We would have been having a whole complete. We would have been talking about Toronto playing Carolina right now.
Dan, I moved more from my couch to my fridge than the Leafs did in games 4 and 5. Like most of them were just they were standing around doing absolutely nothing.
Now but
if we won Game 3, it would have not been an issue.
Well, okay, Game 3, you can make that argument, but you can't look at what I said. We're too late in this.
Coach Jacob takes down the comment when someone agrees with me.
You know what, Dan? You are in the podcast logo over your face.
I think we're too late for what ifs and what could be's. I
agree with you. All I'm saying is at this point, and Dan, I even get where some of the people in the comments are coming from. Matt Murray is an experienced goalie with playoff experience,
and he's won 2 Stanley Cups.
Okay, but he's never won 2 Stanley Cups being the guy the whole time.
He doesn't have to be the guy the whole time. Anthony Storhoff will be healthy by the time round 3 starts.
We don't know that.
All Matt Murray has to do is come in and play mediocre and not allow a bad goal. That's it. The rest of it is up to the team to score and defense. If Murray can come in and not deflate the team for 2 games, that's all we need.
No. Dan. We're coming back to this again. You are putting all your money onto backup goalie and a third-string goalie, not Johnny T, who gets paid $11 million a year.
I agree with
not Austin Matthews, who gets paid $12.5 million a year. Not Mitch Marner, who gets paid $10.9 million a year. Not William Nylander, who gets paid $11.5 million a year. Not Max Domi, who is one of the most expensive third-line centers in the NHL. Not to Matthew Nyes, who is apparently going to be getting $9 million next year. No. You're on. If someone puts in an offer sheet, which offer sheets are always overpaid, I could see Matty Nyes getting 9 in the open market.
Who's offering him 9? Buddy, Utah?
Chicago. They are desperate to get someone to play with Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
They will take the Leafs leftovers.
I'm telling you, Mitch Marner.
But what I am getting at is, and I get what the comment section is saying. I truly do. And the Leafs need to play like a team. Thank you, comment section.
I agree.
You cannot just, and if the goalie lets in a bad goal, pick them up. How many times did we see Marc-Andre Fleury let in something and you're like, what just happened? But
that's true.
They went out and played well. And I agree with Adam here too. Like Murdoch, something Murdoch Mysteries, by the way. If any of you guys watch the show, see great content. But he hasn't been good enough in the NHL in the last 4 years. It's a big risk in a do or die game.
I don't think he'll even see the net.
I think putting Matt Murray in as starting would be like benching Mitch Marner tonight. Yes,
that might be a good thing.
Guys
exactly.
You need to play better, but this is who you have. Yes, we want Anthony Stolarz in net. As my kindergarten teacher used to say, tough bananas. You don't have them. So get over it and find a way to win with the group you have. Joseph Woll won 25 games as a starter this year in the NHL, or 27 or something like that. He can win games. So just win.
If you would have scored,
why did he win game 3 then?
It's a bloody win. I don't care if DJ Khaled has to give everyone a cheeseburger.
All we do is win, whoever wants.
I don't care. I don't want excuses. Oh, well, Matt Murray needs to do this, or we need Joe Woll to get a shutout. We just need to win. I disagree with the first 3 goals, or it's over. Just win. I don't care how you win. Take 7 overtimes. Blow them out 10-0. Shoot the puck at Paul Maurice's head. I don't care. Just win the damn game.
But with these two teams, really a lead's not secure. Like if someone goes up 2 goals,
56 goals. I don't care. Just win. Just win. Just win.
I think Woll will.
How you do it.
I know he played bad last game. I think Woll will give them good enough goaltending to win. I know game 3, yes, you can be mad about game 3. I understand the frustration from game 3 because they played so well and they came falling apart. But game 4, he played.
It's not just on your goalie.
No, I know. And the thing is, in game 4, he played fantastic. And if you score literally 2 goals, you probably could have won that game. And he stood on his head. And then last game, yeah, he didn't play well, but neither did 90% of that team. They didn't even give him a chance.
Dreadful that last game. 1 goal was bad, but realistically, the one bad goal, the game was over by the time it went in. Like
there was no effort in front of him to even help him out. Like what was he supposed to do? Put on his skates and skate down the entire ice himself? Like.
And I agree with Robson here that if Woll plays the way he does in game 4 and the forwards and defense put shots on the other net, we have a very good chance we win this game. But
yes,
not just say it's Joseph Woll's fault we lost 6-1.
No, it's not.
And also, too, I am just going to say this. Who gives a rat's whatever word that I can't say because we're streaming live and Facebook is picky and YouTube's even pickier and then they'll block the stream and then Dan will cry and then Craig will have to drive to Hamilton and bring him a blueberry muffin.
Oh, you like muffins?
Bring me chocolate.
Is done.
Yeah, ice cream.
It is done. It's like, think about when the Toronto Raptors won the championship. Everyone went on. Think about that series against the Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, you lost the first 2 games. You got blown out. You're done. And Kawhi Leonard said to them, we're going to get on a plane. We'll show up at the ACC. We'll win game 3. We'll win game 4. We'll win game 5. We'll win game 6. That's all Toronto has to do tonight, except they only have to do it twice. Oh, Chazzy, looks like you're making a run over to a buddy's place for some muffin and coffee.
Nice.
I want a ice cap, caramel ice cap.
But I think they need to get shots on net. When you go back, as we did early in the show, and look at the shot totals in the games, when you got a lot of shots on net, that was your recipe to success. But it's the same thing. You look at Winnipeg when they had a disaster of a game when they lost their last game. What did they do the next game? They blocked out all the noise, and there was as much noise in Winnipeg as there is in Toronto right now. And they just did it. They just went out and did it. That's all Toronto has to do. You're a bunch of grown men. If I have a bad day at work, I don't go to my boss, well, I can't come into work. I'm sad. No, I get over it and go back the next day and give it another go. It's all Toronto has to do.
Yeah.
There's no reason why this team can't beat Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. I'll pitch in.
Lane's going to give everyone $500. Sweet.
Yeah, I'm down.
But no, and I think that's the biggest issue with that game 5. 14-16, a lot of the guys just didn't show up. But I think the Leafs just need to pretend that doesn't exist. I do not have $500. My wallet's empty. I literally just showed you guys that. Like, see? Nothing. There's even a hole in it. So my hopes and dreams go. But
Clog that hole.
I'm not gonna go there.
No!
But you can look at all these things, and every team that wins the Stanley Cup or some sort of championship has to go through major adversity.
Look at the Argos, everything they went through.
I was going to bring that up. Look at Chad Kelly basically loses his ankle in the Eastern Final. You have to bring in Nick Arbuckle, who has never played in a playoff game in his entire life, and he gets it done. He just won. It didn't matter that he threw 2 interceptions in the Grey Cup games. You know why? Because the defense found a way to make Collaros give out interceptions the way Chazzy's giving everyone milk and muffins and coffee.
He also won the MVP.
MLP.
MLP, the mob.
So, like, all I'm getting at is, even if the Leafs go down early, I don't care if they're down 4-0 after 1. Just go out there and find a way. Mind you, that's not the way you want to start.
I think it's easier said than done, though.
I don't care.
Well,
It's
I've got a question
easier.
for
Okay,
Jacob.
but if it was easy, then what would be the point in doing it?
Well, I'm just saying, you make it sound like a kindergarten can do it.
If the Carolina Hurricanes can take down Washington in 5, the Leafs can win 2 in a row against Florida.
Well, that's true. That's what's giving me the confidence in this. You see, who in their right mind thought that Stuart Skinner would come in on a 2-game shutout streak to take out Vegas in 5? Nobody. Who would ever think of Carolina was beating Washington in 5? Nobody. Whoever thought that Winnipeg would set out Dallas and win Game 5? Nobody. All these things happened. So it is possible.
I predicted all of them.
You did not predict Stuart Skinner to get back-to-back setouts.
I said who was going to have it. When we all went around the room, the virtual room with the duck, #Quackinator, and said who was going to have a big game. I said Stuart Skinner, and you guys looked at me like I was on something besides the milk that Chazzy delivers.
No. Top left it.
But I'm just saying, I think this is a big game, and I think Toronto is just going to find a way. They have to. No more BS. And the most beautiful thing about this, if they don't find a way, it's over. 2 contracts are done. Brandon Shanahan will be fired. Tree Living and Berube can build the team they actually want.
Yeah, they're the only 2 that are safe, I think.
I don't know if Berube's 100% safe blowing a 2-0 series lead. There's a slim chance he gets fired.
Oh, come on. Really?
No.
I don't think anything is
No.
Nothing is off
a
the
big
table.
mistake.
Nothing is off the table. I will repeat that. Nothing is off the table. I agree with Adam here. Easy as laying down and dying instead of fighting. If they are willing to put it on the line. That's one that we hear 8,000 times. They shouldn't even show up tonight. And I agree.
But that's all they've ever done. This is what I don't understand from you guys.
They'll probably win this one and break our hearts on Sunday. They have to go back to Toronto anyways to pick up the golf clubs. So
They don't have to. You don't know. They could have brought them
We
on
got
the
Buffalo on the play. That's why we're done.
Okay, guys, let's disinfect all the hate. We can do it. The Leafs will play like rock stars
Oh.
and find a way to win. They will just find a way. They have
Lifestyle
to
and Rockstar. What a good combination.
You just have to find. Oh, Lane has found a way to leave. Goodbye, Lane. I'll miss you.
Uh-oh.
I guess Jazzy stole the boat.
What happened?
That's okay, Lane. We still hear your voice, and
We can-
as much as your face is dashing,
Yeah,
your voice
sorry
is
about that.
just as dashing. But I look at this Leaf team, and they just have to find a way. Said and done. Just find a way.
Any changes on your power play tonight?
Let's look on Daily Face-Off, because I'd heard some rumors that Morgan Riley
Good question, Jazzy.
top.
I'm just trying to foreshadow any sort of comments or excuses that we could be talking about. Of what
So
did we
according
not
to Daily
address
Face-Off,
before the game?
according to Daily Face-Off, it is still the 5-forward power play unit,
Oh, no.
which I am not thrilled. I get it. The only thing is, when this power play unit has worked, it is dominated. When it's a disaster, it's a disaster. So again, brought to you by Daily Face-Off here at apparently Home Depot. They have deals for days. You can get a patio set for $5.98. By the way, we're not sponsored by Home Depot, but Home Depot, if you'd like to sponsor us, You can. Yeah, so power play is looking like it's staying pretty much the same, although I wanted a lot of changes. I wanted Riley on the top unit, Tavares bumped down to the second unit, Nyes at the front, Nylander at the back, whipping shots through like no tomorrow. That's what I wanted, but you can't always get what you wanted. I could see the second power play unit getting more ice time tonight if the top one's struggling.
Yeah.
Because the bottom one has had some success in this series. Actually, your power play goals are from your second unit.
Yes.
So maybe get the second unit out there and tell Max Domi when there's an empty net, put it in.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys now, since I've given my thoughts, do we like the power play unit staying the same, or do we want some change? I moved my
I
whole
think
camera.
we should change.
So, Lane, what changes would you make? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm an idiot? Hey, what's up? What's up, Doc?
I'm trying to think. Like, I would honestly move Tavares to the second PP, put Matthews in the center up there with Nyes and Willie, leave Marner on the back end, and I would bring up Morgan Riley. That's what I would do.
See, I almost agree with you, except I want Nylander on the back end and Marner playing a bumper position for more of those tape-to-tape saucer passes that he's so good at. One of the very few things Marner does well lately.
And then you could at least you could put Patches, Tavares, and McMahon, and then have I don't know if you want Domi back there, but
I don't want Domi on the power play because
you could probably put McMahon on the back end. Actually, now that I think about it, it's he would probably be a good just back end guy right there.
Hey, you know what? I see what Adam's saying though about Berube not letting the big boys hide. It's like
that's a great point.
This is your team. Do it.
Yeah.
And do you notice?
And like I said, at the time that if it doesn't work, at least there's changes.
Yeah. And do you notice the one thing that I noticed it pretty quickly too, especially after last night's game. I don't know if this is just MLSC like a thing, or this is like just how they want to run it, but I thought it was really weird how Craig Berube, especially in when he was coaching St. Louis for that cup, he would chew and spit them out like every game, every little mistake, and whenever at least it's just like, oh, don't worry, we're good. They're great.
Well, I think he knows yelling and screaming at these players doesn't equal results.
But why? Why are they so soft? Like, I don't understand. Like, why are they?
I thought you want to cry.
Excuse me, but like they play in the NHL, you get $12 million. How can you not handle criticism? Like, I don't understand this whole blaming. This is what they like to do. They like to say, "Oh, it's the negativity. It's the noise why we're losing." No, it's going up there and playing hockey is why you're not. It's not you're losing because I'm saying what I'm saying is not the reason why you lose hockey games.
Well, you think about it, Lane. You look at the ages of all these superstars. Right, they're all younger, and it's a different generation.
I don't care
either. But look at schools nowadays, right? You don't get an award for winning. Everyone gets an award for participating. And it's just
but I disagree. But look at Connor McDavid. But Dan, look at Connor McDavid. And this has been the videos that's been floating around all day. They were down 3-0, and Connor McDavid went into the dressing room in Game 4 and absolutely threw sticks at his entire team and said, "Wake the bloody." Can't say the word, but no. But this is but I disagree because Connor McDavid stood up and said, "No, wake up. We need to win. Enough of this. I'm not losing. If you want to lose, go home." And the Leafs don't do it. They just sit there and go.
That's to the point that I've brought up, and funny enough, talking with Matt and Mama, the Leafs lacking leadership, and that's been a big issue. Bringing back to Robson's point. With Nyes on the top power play, I think you need Nyes in a bigger role on the top power play and not just off to the side for tip-ins. Just stand in front of Bobrovsky.
Yeah, exactly.
But Adam makes an interesting point about why they're not calling out the players, because Toronto media, you call one player out once. Like if you say, "I don't like your socks," there will be like 87,642 and 7 articles about it. Right?
I know, but still.
No, but I'm sorry. The media in St. Louis does not compare to the media in Toronto. I think what happened in the dressing room, that's one thing. And maybe in the dressing room, Berube is screaming at them. We don't know. We're not in there. But I want to see the videos. I think publicly, Adam makes a great point with Toronto media. And let's be honest, Toronto is the mecca of the hockey world.
Yes.
Whether you like the Leafs or, Craig, you hate the Leafs, that's not the point.
That's such a strong word.
Okay, you dislike them as much as you dislike being kicked in the nose.
I don't see you like being kicked in the nose. Do you, Craig?
No.
Look how beautiful his face is. You can't mess that up.
Why would you want to kick Chazzy in the nose? I would never want to kick Chazzy in the nose. He's got such a nice
thank
nose.
you.
Can't keep Chazzy in the corner. Actually, I can. He's in the corner. But
People may want to kick me in the nose tonight, depending on how this game goes. And then mess up my dashing good looks. But no, but I don't know. It's 45 minutes. Something's got whether they got someone needs to step up tonight. Whether it's Austin Matthews who wears this C, even if he's not the best player on the ice, he needs to come in there and give the message to the boys of like, no, we gotta win. I want to see it either in the locker room or speaking out and trying to motivate these guys and motivate this team to play as a unit tonight, even if he's not the most productive guy out there. I just want to see something. I want to see someone step up and take the charge and say, like, let's not go out like this. Let's prove these people wrong. Let's not say that we're the same thing let's not say we're the same movie that everyone's seen 100 times. And someone said, what if it look at Brandon Carlo? Like, you never know. Maybe Brandon Carlo and Matt and all these new guys, maybe they're the ones that step up tonight and go, well, if they're not going to do it, I'll do it instead.
Yeah, exactly.
But Adam brings up an interesting point about, you remember when the Leafs always called out Phil Kessel for scoring 40 goals a year playing with nobody? And we ran him out of town. And it took a long time to find guys who were willing
2 cups after you ran him out of town, no?
Yep. Pittsburgh. Actually, 3 cups.
Where he wasn't.
He won at Pittsburgh and Vegas.
Audrey, you ran out of town.
Won a cup.
But all I mean is
Mitch Marner, you're running out of town.
Marner's a different situation because he just doesn't seem to. Marner, the reason when I started to really lose respect for Marner was last offseason when they asked him about re-signing in Toronto, and he said, well, yeah, they treat us like gods. You can look it up. That's a real quote.
Yep. He did say that.
Okay.
So if you want to be treated like a god, then you have to play at least like, I don't know,
like Jesus.
But
I am a god.
I think with Marner, it's the attitude that's part of the problem too. Nazem Kadri, you never felt it was effort. Phil Kessel, and when you bring up media with Kessel, do you guys remember when one person made a comment about Kessel eating a hot dog on the street? Now he was known as the hot dog guy in Toronto for years. That's why I bring back to Adam's point here, and I love it that I can bring back old comments on the comment section. The Toronto media is the wrong group to call the players to, and I say the wrong group publicly. And he may be doing it in the dressing room. We don't know. Oh, bye, Chazzy's beautiful face. But it's just one of those things. Dan, since Dan's clearly not looking at the private chat, and we're live, it's fine. Dan, you need to close your phone because I hear it buzzing.
Oh, well, I got the Facebook Live open.
I know you like to like all the comments, but that's okay. Dan can just say like. See, now
the phone's far away.
It's because you have a video on.
Oh, sorry.
So just so everyone knows, my mic is very expensive. It's beautiful. It's from my hip hop days. The hip hop, the hip hop. You don't stop. Dan and Chazzy's mics are from what was on sale at Vision Electronics that day. So
pretty good, Mike.
Worst mistake along with Kadri this team made. Being treated like gods is the problem with this team. And I agree. 100%. The thing is with Toronto media, and I can take this all the way back to the Ed Belfour era, where there are certain players that can do no wrong, like Ed Belfour, when the puck would hit the post, and they'd all start going, "And what a stay by Ed
And he
Belfour."
was a professional. He was a professional.
Eddie.
Not a franchise goalie compared to Cujo in the era, anyways. And guys like Mitch Marner, who people act like I'm seeing people who are visibly upset that this could be Marner's last game in Toronto, and I don't know why.
I'm not that
What
upset.
has he shown you? When
I'm just going
down for passion. Yeah, he made some boneheaded decisions.
I'm just going to call it out. It's like Matt Sundin back in the day. We all loved Matt Sundin. Matt Sundin's the greatest player of all time. Blah, blah, blah. Why?
Dan is about to make a lot of people really mad with this take.
But it's true. What did he do? He got 500 goals. Okay, how many cups did he win here? None. I'm just saying, it's kind of the same effect.
I agree.
The team was not the same since they traded Wendell Clark for Matt Sundin to make Doug Gilmour the captain. That's when the Maple Leafs fell apart. We all know that.
No. That era they fell apart. Unfortunately, once Felix Potvin had a kid, it was weird. If you look at his stats, once he became I don't know, Chazzy, being a dad, you just not sleep. Is that the issue?
But it's the greatest thing in the world. So.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, Dan's basically a child that I have to raise.
You get it done.
Episode. So I mean, I understand, Chazzy. You and I are basically the same. Like look at us. Chazzy and I could be twins. Even though he's older than me. But by how much? Put in the comments and guess. But no, I get what a lot of people are saying here about what's going on. At the end of the day, for the Leafs, just win. That's all you got to do. Win a game.
But that's been the hardest thing for them to do.
You got to take it to Game 7 because anything can happen in Game 7.
I don't think. Yeah, in all honesty,
any given Sunday, and we'll be on.
I said the same thing about Winnipeg. If Winnipeg pushes it to 7, Winnipeg will win that series. If Toronto pushes it to 7, I strongly believe Toronto.
You have a chance. You have a chance. We'll give you that. You have a chance.
But if they don't get it done. This is my number one question to you guys, and I wanted to hear from a non-Leaf fan perspective. And Chazzy, Chazzy. I didn't say hate. I said non-Leaf fan.
We'll say neutral.
Where does Toronto go from here?
That's a great question.
If they don't, I know it's a great question. I expect a great answer.
Actually, you brought something into sort of the way I was thinking there the other night, where you don't sign the 2, but you may get 3 to fill in that leadership, sort of give some of that championship pedigree in that locker room. That might be an angle.
Well, because there's a lot of good players, and people keep telling me, "Oh, it's a weak."
But there's a lot of like good guys that have won.
Right, exactly.
On that free agent list.
Well, and that's my point here, right? And I almost brought in the CFL free agent list. That would not have been very helpful. You can tell that I'm starting to get into CFL mode right now. Training camps right under the way, right going on right now.
We'll be talking a lot of CFL very soon.
The only problem is you got like teams like Calgary, Anaheim, San Jose that are sort of like they're on the bubble to sort of like start seeing some of their last 3-4 years to start flourish. Now Lane, you said what 8-9 years going all like it is not. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here.
But to bring in
retool.
But to bring in what Chazzy was mentioning that I was talking about the other night, and here's just a list of some of the pending free agents available, and people keep telling me, well, there's not a lot of great players. By the way, you can stream over 150 games apparently for $24.99. That's a lot of money. Or you can watch the Streakers on the podcast for free. If you really want me to look at this ad, close. Okay, we'll just make it a little smaller. There we go. Now can I close it? No, I can't. So that's okay. Yes, Mitch Marner and John Tavares are your top 2, but you got Nikolai Ehlers, you got Matt Duchene, Sam Bennett, Patty Kane, Brock Besser, Brock Nelson, Aaron Ekblad, Jonathan Drouin, Claude Giroux, Mikael Granlund, Brad Marchand, Ryan Donato, Jake Allen, if you don't think the goaltending was good enough with Joseph Wall in a backup role. You want better defense? Okay, let's go get Orlov. Hey, we want to get bigger in the bottom 6. Okay, let's sign Jamie Benn. No way in H.E. Hockey Sticks. He's coming back at $9.5 million. Okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's go get back Connor Brown. Let's bring back James Van Riemsdyk. Let's bring in Mangiapane and bring in some speed for cheap. Like, there are so many options. Marner and Tavares, you look at this, that is $22 million. Plus
a lot more.
Up by $5 million. That's $26 million, almost $27 million.
It's a lot.
So who do you see pick up a Tavares?
That's a very good question.
Anaheim?
Detroit?
Yeah, they need centers.
I could see Detroit, actually. Yeah,
Detroit?
I could see Detroit. If they
Buffalo?
can't get Marner, I could see them pivoting and going for Tavares.
What about the Rangers?
I don't think the Rangers have the cap space.
Probably not.
And that's the thing. The Leafs, for the first time in about 5 years, will have the
Have a
ability
clean
to make
slate.
changes and make major changes.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm not as panicked.
See, I'm not even panicked. I'm just frustrated. I shouldn't say I'm panicked, but I'm frustrated because I feel like
Robson talks about there, sign Bennett and Ekblad.
yeah.
Ekblad would be a good pickup.
Can you imagine Ekblad and Riley, Tanev, McCabe, Benoit,
And Carlo.
and Carlo? Because OEL's getting old. I don't know how many more years he's got.
No, but don't get. He also signed a 4-year deal too, so you're with him for a while.
Or then, okay, fine. Then Benoit becomes your 7th defenseman.
Yeah,
but now your defense becomes your strength, which has always been.
I'm okay with that.
No, I would be okay with that.
And he would still have cap space left, even if he signed those two.
To bring in a guy like Brock Besser around that $5-6 million cap hit. I think the Leafs need less $10-11 million players and more $5 to $8 million players.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Leafs depth after the core 4 and it's right. And I think that's what they need. And I think this is the best depth they've had.
Yeah.
But it could be better.
Look at Edmonton, for example. Edmonton got to figure it out this year.
Well, yeah, funny enough, Edmonton, they are having a lot of success without McDavid and Draisaitl unnecessarily pushing the train by themselves.
Right.
Draisaitl and McDavid were quiet the last 2 games, and it was guys like Connor Brown and Sperry Kapanen with the overtime winner. They brought in some good depth.
Kane has been effective. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. That's who I'm signing. I'm signing Kane here.
And Evander Kane, $4.5 million roughly, if I remember right.
Here's another guy who's trying to come back. I don't know if he's actually going to come back, but he said he's going to try to make a comeback. He would be an interesting, maybe like a tryout. Is Jonathan Toews?
Yes.
I saw him put it out there on social media.
But screw it. Let's bring in Jonathan Toews, Patty Kane, and Brock Besser. Re-sign Matty Nyes and still have money left over. That's my point. There is
1 year.
Oh yeah, you have to re-sign Matthew Nyes anywhere between 6 and 8.5.
If Lavastov can come back after 3 years, Jonathan Toews can too.
I heard he's trying. I don't know if it's true.
I've heard too. I heard he was
really
trying for trade deadline.
Who's got his right? Chicago?
Nobody right now because he got. I don't know what happened. He had like long COVID. Unfortunately, he got really, really sick after his COVID diagnosis, and he's not been really the healthiest person since. So I think he was like on the borderline version of kind of just calling it a retirement. But I think after he's recently put up there that he's back in training and trying to get his vitals back to where he thinks he could play maybe 1 or 2 more seasons, give it one last kick at the can, see if he can maybe play on a team and help them win. And
I wouldn't mind bringing in a guy like Jonathan Toews and just be at the fact that he's not going to play every night.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like Jason Spezza back in the day.
Yeah, kind of like Spezza or Thornton, but I think they could be. I think if anything, Toews could sort of be like Max Pacioretty this year.
Even like in patches, exactly.
Where he was he had to miss a lot of the season, but now in the playoffs, he has been one of Toronto's better players.
And you talk about leadership. Holy moly! That's I don't know if everyone knows his nickname, but we all know I know his nickname is Captain Serious. And the game he got it from, if anyone doesn't know, was in the playoffs, and they were down. The Chicago Blackhawks were down 4-1 with about 6 minutes left, and Toews and everyone else was sad and like looking down, and Toews was just like, like we're not losing. He had this like really angry look on his face, and then he proceeded to play the best 6 minutes I've seen anyone play in the history of hockey, and got all 3 goals and then got the overtime winner. I'm like, that's just how he is. He's Captain Serious. He never gives up, and he would be a great player to come into this locker room and be like, "No,
need more guys like that if this doesn't work." Maybe even you look at Claude Giroux, right? I don't know if Ottawa's re-signing him. I wouldn't mind Claude Giroux coming in to play on the wing in the 2nd or 3rd line.
You also forget about Easton Cowan is most likely going to be a Leaf next year.
I don't know if he will be a Leaf next year or not. I could see him playing a year in the A.
I may need him. I may need him.
Time will
tell. He will play in the NHL next year. I'm 100% positive of that. I am not positive he will play for the Maple Leafs, because if I'm the Maple Leafs, I think Easton Cowan is very good trade bait at this point.
No.
No. We've already sold the farm. Now
did you guys already sell someone that you wanted to keep in that Boston
Fraser Mitten?
Yeah, I would have kept Fraser Mitten over Easton Cowan.
No, and I love Fraser Mitten, but no, Easton Cowan's a generational talent.
He's so good.
So is Captain Underpants. Where did that take us?
But Easton Cowan has different tangibles, and
he's bigger. He's more physical.
He hates to lose.
Coming up in the CHL versus the NCAA system or playing overseas. Because in Matthew's era, the NCAA and overseas hockey is not where it is right now. With the way the transfer portal is opening up in hockey, the way it is in football, I think we're going to see a lot more solid players. But all I'm getting at is, if you have to look at the Leafs as being like, this is the last chance for this group to get it done. And you can actually see a way on why it's the last chance for this group to get it done.
Oh, 100%.
Because Brad Treliving's hands have been tied by Kyle Dubas signings.
Yep.
With all the no-move clauses, like, look, they want to pull the trigger on Mikko Rantanen, but they couldn't because Marner went knobby, right? So it's one of those things.
Hurt.
It is where it is, and that it did hurt. But all I'm getting at is there's a lot of people keep telling me that the free agent bait board is weak. I see a lot of very good $5 to $8 million players on that list, which I think is what Toronto needs more than a superstar.
100%. You look at Brock Besser, he got 40 goals 2 years ago.
And I think Brock Besser playing with William Nylander could get back to a 30, 40 goal pace, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Right. You bring in Brock Besser, Sam Bennett, Ryan Donato, re-sign Nyes, and have about the same cap space. That's just my point, right? You have
there's options.
Now, am I saying this will happen? No, I do truly believe, as they say at the end of the interview, we have a lot of belief in this locker room. I have a lot of belief in this locker room. I do have belief that this team can do it.
Yeah.
But this is their last chance. Yeah. Is today and hopefully Sunday.
Oh, I don't.
You're going against one of the best, so we'll see what happens.
I don't. I'm done. I've given up. I'm watching, but I've given up on them.
So, Chazzy, can you, in our sports booth, can you bring up some of the props we have? I know I can't bring it up on the screen, but can you kind of just go over some of the props we have for tonight so people can play along?
What do you want me to bring it up on the, or do you want me to
just auditorially say them?
Well, I know we have, we'll play off Bob, get her shutout. I know that's one.
No, I don't think so.
So people in the comments, is Bobrovsky getting a shutout?
No.
I'm saying no to that one. Dan, what are you saying? Bobrovsky, is he getting a shutout tonight?
No.
So see, guys, if you can see this on my phone, I am playing along right here in the Streakers Island podcast sports booth. We're going to be making some changes so we can start doing this live on the air with you. But
we're making a big pivot from earning coins to earning points and being more about your winning over everything else. So it's about your winning against others and just making it more engaging. So the next question is, will William Nylander score a goal?
Yes.
I'm going to stick to what I said in the pre-record, that he scores the game winner.
Yeah.
He's going to score the first goal of the game and the game winner.
Yes.
I think he'll get a goal. Yeah, I could see it.
Playoff Nylander is a different beast than regular season Nylander.
So you think Wall's getting a shout-out?
No.
Well, then you said he's getting the first goal in the game winner. It means Florida can't get a goal.
He can score more than one goal, Dan. He has that
ability. Oh, okay.
Okay. So will the Florida Panthers score a goal in the first 6 minutes of the game?
No. I'm saying the Leafs are going to win this game, so they can't.
Yeah, because it seems like we said earlier, the consensus on the island here is you're anticipating a fast start, or you can't give up the first goal. And then the last one, I guess it's the elephant in the room. Will Austin Matthews score a goal?
No.
Yes. I'm going to bring back a comment here from the comment section.
Lay it on the line.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of that song. I have to find it now. We've had so many comments on the show today, so thank everyone for all your comments.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Yeah. One comment I'd love to bring up is just turtle. I think that's a great comment.
That was Robinson being the turtle. That's why he spent this.
I didn't see that comment from today.
Adam Walsh. Adam's been coming in clutch, but not like Clutch the Car app, but Clutch the Car app. If you'd like to sponsor us.
Well, Matty Nye is due tonight, he's saying.
Matty is due a goal. He's too good to not score.
Yeah, I agree.
Matthews is too good to not score. And to go back to Shades about the core four are the shyest in big games. This is a chance to prove you wrong, Shades. Just you alone, okay? Like, William Nylander is going to show up at your door, and he's going to be like, nah.
Wow, I guess that would be big.
Matthews will score the winner tonight.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, so hypothetically that wins. Do your feelings stay the same going into Game 7, or you guys gonna move on?
Game 6 doesn't matter if they win because they have to win Game 7.
Right.
Mind you, they have to win this game now, but I don't even want to think about after Game 6. Let's just think about Game 6.
Okay,
That's true.
fair enough.
Craig,
Fair
okay,
enough.
there's only so much knowledge I can fit in this brain, okay? and my head's already a little swelling today with everything I'm trying to remember.
I've been looking forward to this conversation all day on the island.
Me too. Me too.
Just so everyone knows,
This
we
is
will be
big
doing a
game
post.
tonight for you
We
guys.
will be doing a post game after the game tonight.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, I'm
that's
just
even more
announcing.
exciting.
This is what I love to do to the boys, by the way. I like to just tell them we're doing things live on the air. I think it's funny. And Lane, remember your laptop charger. And Dan,
Yeah,
go
don't worry, I will.
near the microphone. And
Yeah, we
Chaz,
want
just,
the full emotion tonight, Lane. Full
Jazzy,
emotion.
just
Win or
bring
lose,
your
full emotion.
winning smile.
I mean, oops.
Whoa. We had a class. We had a clean. We need a clean up in aisle 3.
Live TV, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Robson, I could totally see Austin Matthews scoring the game-winning goal. I think Austin Matthews will have a big game tonight. I think he's going to do really well in face-offs. I think he's going to find a way to score. I think he might get in those dirty areas more than he has. Because I will say, when I watched the post-game interviews, Matthews looked so frustrated.
He did.
Like, you've seen him on the bench smashing sticks. Like, he is angry and he's frustrated with himself. And
Marner looked very frustrated.
It's like Marner's a crybaby. I've said it once and I'll say it again. And yes, Chazzy, I'm running Mitch Marner out of town the same way everyone else ran Kadri out of town.
Yeah,
and
bye-bye.
But
about
again, I feel with Kadri it was a different scenario. And who knows, maybe Marner will go somewhere else, become the best playoff player in the world, and I'll be eating my own words.
Okay,
Hopefully my words taste like chicken.
Here's a question. Of your bottom 6,
let me ask you a question.
who's the standout player you're looking for tonight in that bottom 6?
Bobby
Whoa.
McMahon.
I know.
Bobby McMahon. He doesn't have a goal yet in the playoffs. Was a 20-goal scorer in the regular season. He's been getting a lot more shots. He's been playing physical. And I think him playing with Patches and Domi, if that line cannot take penalties, they could have a big game tonight. Dan, I'll let you go next because you look so eager. You look like when you just woke up and you realize you have to pee. So go ahead.
Well, because I have a great point. Usually I just think on the fly, but that's when I thought ahead of time is so great. So basically, I think the player going to step up tonight is Steven Lorentz. I'll tell you why. He doesn't got a goal all playoffs yet. He had 8 goals in a regular season. 5 of them were game winners. And this is against his former team. Don't forget, I talk about this in the podcast, not so much on your live show. Steven Lorentz is one of my favorite stories of the year. Why? He came to training camp on a professional tryout, not even a contract. He signed a league minimum, which living in Toronto for $800,000 is pretty hard. Okay, he comes in here, he hits like crazy, he blocks shots, he fights, and he got 18 points. Like, he's a beautiful human being. He got 2 more points in the playoffs. I think he's due for a big goal tonight against his former team, and I think he could get the game winner.
You're not totally out to lunch on that take.
No, I don't get the circus book.
We are talking about lines and everything. Craig Berube not splitting up Matthews and Marner. These guys have been a combo for so long, and they've had a lot of success. So I trust them. I believe in them. Do you guys believe?
No.
Nope.
I think
Explain why. Tell me why.
because how can you trust something that hasn't worked? Like, that's, to me, that's ludicrous. Like, that's like
Luda.
that's like saying I went to Tim Hortons for 8 straight years and I ordered an ice cap and they always gave me a French vanilla, but I trust that this time they're going to give me an ice cap. Like, come on now. I'm serious. If this game gets ugly and it starts looking like, why not put William Nylander with Matthews and Nyes if it gets ugly? Why do we have to commit to this Matthews and Marners if this game gets ugly? It's never worked in the playoffs. It's never done anything. They literally get 0 points 99% of the time. Why don't we split it up for the If it's like 2 or 3-0 Florida, let's juggle some stuff up. Let's put Willie
I
on the
agree.
top line. Let's put Willie, Matthews, and Martin and Nyes, and put Tavares with Marner and like Holmberg. Like, just try something. Why do we
I
have to
would
stick
100%
to the same
agree.
thing when the last 9 years you've seen the same result with the same lines and you get the same result? You end up going golfing early. I don't get that. It makes no sense to me.
When John
Guys,
Tavares had his 47
They'll have
goal,
this face. They will be crying.
No, but you know what I mean, right, Jacob? You know what I'm
This a
saying,
third
right?
time again, I'm sorry.
No, when
I
you
just-
think about it, when John Tavares had his 47 goal year, best goal of his year as a Maple Leaf, best year of his career, it was with Mitch Marner beside him.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest reason why he came here. A lot of people don't know this, but when Kyle Dubas did the presentation to him, the biggest selling point was that you're going to play with Mitch Marner. That's actually a true story.
Exactly. And William Nylander does have great chemistry with Austin Matthews, which
Not
they did back in
recently,
the
though.
younger years. So why not do it again?
I
Why
think,
not,
try
Sid
it.
Fireman?
I think because if this is the group you have, you got to ride or die with your top the way
Well,
it is. I think if
Hey, we're
you
going
go-
back to Fast and Furious movie here. Why to die, bro? Family.
if you
Go
go
on to
down,
beers.
Seriously.
if you go down early in this game and you don't see any spark, obviously you're going to juggle the lines. I don't think they're just going to bend over and die. But like, I kind of like leaving the lines kind of the way they've been most of the season for this game. I don't think this is the time to just throw it in the blender going into the game and hope for the best. I think you got to leave it the way it is to start. And if it's a disaster, then you pull out 6 blenders.
Look at Edmonton. Edmonton came back and defeated Vegas in 5. Everyone on how great the coach was for juggling the lines.
Juggling the lines in a non-do or die game is a completely different scenario.
Than
I agree with
juggling them in a
that.
do or die game. Look,
Uh-oh.
Chazzy is sick of you and Lane. He is just getting rid of his face. He is now a silhouette
Get
of
rid
a
of my
man.
face too, you know.
Now, Lane is a silhouette of a man.
I don't
Lane
know how
is
to do that, so I won't.
A silhouette of a man.
We could all just be silhouettes. Let's just all
I am a silhouette of a man.
I'm a silhouette. I am a silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Can you do the fandango?
This is how we cover all the faces here on the Strickers Island.
We're losing our minds. We
You
haven't
give
had
us
food
an
on
8
the
o'clock
island.
game. You give us an 8 o'clock game, anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I want to go over keys to victory here since we're about 15 minutes away.
Oh man.
I'm going to give you guys my keys to victory for Florida to start. Because we've talked a lot about Toronto, but Florida could easily win this game.
Oh, 100%.
The keys to Florida is to hit, get a goal early, and just take away any confidence from the Toronto Maple Leaf group. Agree or disagree?
Yes.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I think the first 10 minutes for Florida could be very telling how this game's going to go.
Well,
Yeah.
don't forget, it was one of the props in the sports booth for the Streaker Islands booth on the Streakers app is will Florida score in first 6 minutes, right? And that's a key point.
I got a prop for you all. I got a prop. Brad Marchand, 1 goal, yes or no? I think yes. Oh, I think he might.
I think he could actually. You know what?
Yeah, I think he could, too.
could.
Yeah.
Or he's going to contribute on a couple, but he's definitely going to score
He is the Leaf killer after all.
or a couple
Jacob is done. He's out of here. He's
point or two. I could see it.
If the Leafs win, Marchand will have a quiet game. I say for the Leafs, for their keys, I think this will take us a bit longer because I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not. No matter what happens, they have to remain calm.
yes.
Don't get into all the pushing and shoving after the whistle. Don't
last
let
game.
when Matthew Tkachuk is threatening you, just skate away. When
That's
Sam
what it is.
Bennett is trying to run you over, just be like, "Hey, bud, have a good one. Have a beer for me. Leave."
I said that
I
for
think-
game 2, right? Remember, Chazzy?
Yeah.
Remember for game 2, I said if they come out trying to hit and play this kind of pushback game, they're going to get blown out. That's what they did last night. And what happened?
Because
Yeah.
that's not the Leaf style.
I
Number
know.
2, the core 4 has to be the driver. The bottom 6 needs to play well, but the core 4 has to be the driver of this team, whether it's on the power play or 5-on-5. And I'm going to be a little more specific and say the top line. Matthews, Marner, and Nylander have been kind of invisible this series. I mean, Matty Nyes has had his chances, but that's a line that's got to be better. I agree with leaving it the way it is to go into this game, but it has to show up. These are the guys that keep saying they're worth all the money. Marner thinks he's a god. Show up. And the third point I will make here is Joseph Woll has to be okay. I don't think he has to steal the game, but he needs to play well. And even if he lets in a deflating goal, just make the big save next. The Graham Fuhr effect is what I'm going to keep hammering home to you boys. They don't need Joseph Woll to play like Bobrovsky. Don't worry about Bobrovsky. You're not Bobrovsky. You're not playoff Bob. Don't stress by a vest kind of thing. Just play your game. If you can keep this game to a 3-goal game, the Leafs have a very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts going into this. What do you boys think?
I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
I think I agree with everything you just said. It's
Well, I'm very smart.
You're the self-proclaimed sports analyst, right?
Self-proclaimed a pretty decent song by Dax, the Canadian rapper. He used to be a janitor, so I mean it makes sense. But Dan, excuse me, you always talk about Joseph Woll needing to play better. Do you think Woll needs to steal this game?
No, I don't think he needs to steal this game. I think the Cole Four needs to steal this game. They're paying the big bucks. I think Joseph Woll just needs to not allow a deflating goal. Because it's not so much just allowing a goal. It's like, if you allow a goal on 2-on-1 on a breakaway, that's one thing.
A 2-on-1
when you
on a
at least
breakaway.
get the 1-goal league, and then the guy skates down the wing and shoots a wrist shot on net 10 seconds later and goes in, that's pretty deflating. And we've seen Woll do that quite a few times. So that's what I've been talking about. It's not, I don't expect him to be a franchise goalie. I don't expect him to invest in a winning goalie. I expect him to be a $3 million mediocre goalie. And guess what? That's what he's getting paid as, a $3 million mediocre goalie.
But Dan, a mediocre goalie probably does let in one if you go a night.
No.
Yes.
No. Look at Chris Osgood from the Detroit Red Wings.
Chris Osgood
He was as
better than
mediocre as you could get. He won multiple Stanley Cups. Why? Because he made the saves when he had to make. He wasn't winning a Vezina. He wasn't winning a Conn Smythe. He wasn't getting paid $8 million. He just showed up, made the saves he had to do, and call it a day.
Not Cowboys, non-salary cap world, completely different.
But it's true.
No, it's not. I think
Yes, it
Joseph
is.
Woll can let in one bad goal and the Leafs can still win this game. He just can't let in 3 or 4 bad goals.
True.
And Dan, because of that, you get the Joseph Woll song.
Yeah,
I have a response to Dan's comments about Joseph Woll. We ready? You know we could go and blame Johnny T. Mitch Marner looks so bad, invisible to you and me. Austin Matthews can't score if he needed to be on the ice now. So, Danny, who will you go out and blame? Let's see. After all, let's go blame Joseph Woll.
It's amazing. They should just change the lyrics to that.
That's the response to Dan of blaming putting all the pressure on a $3 million goalie. And this brings back to Adam's point about Toronto media. It's not. Look at Corey Crawford in Chicago. He let in some terrible goals in that Stanley Cup Finals. So still found a way to win because he just was able to let in one less goal than the other guy. Bobrovsky
wasn't it?
Bobrovsky lets in some bad goals. He's let in some bad goals in this series, right? And Florida's found ways to win. That game 3, Bobrovsky didn't play that well. That game tying goal from Marner was terrible, but it went in. But what did Florida do? No panic. So I don't think you need to panic if Woll lets in one bad goal. If he lets in 2 or 3, then yeah, but not one.
If he allows 2 or 3 bad goals, I think it's his last game as a Maple Leaf.
It is possible this could be Woll's last game as a Maple Leaf, especially if a guy like Jake Allen going to be available on free agency.
And he looked good the other night at Hockey Night in Canada.
Very good looking man. Almost
dressed up in
almost
suit.
as dashing as Lane, but not quite.
That's right.
So let's go around the room here before we sign off for the night, boys. Who's winning the game? Lane, I'm going to start with you because I feel you're a Leaf fan who isn't confident, so I'm not sure what you're saying.
I was actually hoping to go last, but if you want me to go first, I can. I have a speech I wanted to give. But
Okay, so I will let you go last then, Lane. Lane, the last dashing co. Dan, who are you taking?
Leafs, baby. I said from day one, First series was going to go 7, so here we go. We'll see you on Sunday. And if they don't win tonight, we are doing a pregame show, and I have a surprise that I'm going to do on the air that no one knows about yet. So if they lose, stay tuned.
Dan's gonna strip.
A post game.
In the Bulls game. I'm not telling Jacob. No one's going to know. It's just going to happen live on the air.
Okay, but
Worst case, you have a call off my camera.
just so everyone knows, if Dan does anything too drastic, I can do this. Take him out of here.
It might happen. So that's why I'm not telling him.
It might.
Okay,
It might happen.
Mr. Chazzy, do you think the Leafs can push it to 7? Or you think
My heart is with you guys tonight. My heart is with Leaf Nation.
But what's your brain?
My brain is with the Panthers. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I look at this game for Toronto, and this game comes down to heart. This game comes down to how much they want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf.
How much do you want it?
If these players leave it on the line, can win this game. And I honestly think William Nylander will will this team, hey, that's a pun, to game 7. William Nylander has always stepped it up in these do-or-die games, and I think he will do it again tonight. Leafs will win game 6. William Nylander was going to have a moment in this game where he just takes it over. It may be in a period, it may be a couple shifts, but he will take over this game at some point tonight. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will win this game. Lane, last dash co.
Speed.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you who's winning. I'm going to tell you who wins, and I'm going to give my speech. Who's winning the game? The Florida Panthers. But
no,
to all the Leaf fans out there, this is my speech. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about this game. There's a word in the English dictionary. It's called chances. You guys have had multiple chances. Year in. Every year you've had chances. You've blown them. Every single time you've had a chance, you've blown it. The number one is 1. This is it. This is the last time that most of these players might be wearing a Maple Leafs jersey. You guys have one last chance to prove me wrong, to prove 50% of this fan base wrong, and you have one last chance to get Jacob to be right and maybe push this to 7. But there's no more. There's no more what ifs, wherever, who this, Wall this, Stolars this, Camp this. No. One chance. You only get so many cracks, and this is the last one. So will you lay it on the line and prove me wrong, or will you do the one thing that you have done for the last 9 years and be everything that we have said you are? You need to decide. You got 6 minutes to do it.
Wow.
That's a great speech. I think we need to be hired by.
You're speaking at my wedding if I ever get anyone.
Hey, remember, we talked to our one buddy at Wheels. Remember, we're going to have a wedding at Wheels Direct at some point. And
that's
watch more Wheels Direct content here at the Streakers Island podcast. Great place to buy your rims and tires.
Oh, amazing time this week.
Oh, my God.
Big announcements coming up this spring, so stay tuned.
Well, stay tuned in general. I mean, I'm pretty fun. I'm also
Jessica.
But I do want to bring up an interesting thing here before we go, and this kind of brings back to Lane's comment on the Leafs. This is their last shot. It does make you start to wonder, and sorry, Dan, but why Washington stuck with Ovechkin as long as they have?
Because he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. As players, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner are never breaking NHL record.
I'm muting your mic so I can finish my point. He has only made it to past the second round once in his career. Once. And the finger he probably gave everyone was the middle one. That's the only one he's ever done it. Give me your point, Dan. Tell me your crap.
It's easy. Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, great players, but none of them are breaking NHL records. Okay, the ticket sales for making off Washington to see him break the Gretzky record was insane. And now the ticket sales are going to get for next year with him hitting 900 will be insane. And if he can keep going, basically keeps going, he'll sign another 2-year contract, and he'll be the first and only NHL player to hit 1,000 goals.
Nice.
That's why I call it here on the Streakers Island podcast. I think he could play till he's 42 and hit 1,000 goals. That's why they kept him. He'll get it done as a Capital.
By the way, viewer of the show, Josh from Sault Ste. Marie says the Leafs win tonight.
Oh, okay.
Who is Sault Ste. Marie?
Josh.
Oh.
He
Dumas probably likes that guy.
a loyal 705 Sports viewer.
Cool.
Who
Nice.
follows
Okay.
me like a stalker on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it's interesting here. Look, and when we go through the chat, there seems to be a lot of belief in the group.
Yeah.
But Dan, I do agree with you about Ovechkin. He's broken records, and that's impressive. I just mean it's interesting to see in Leafs Nation. I'd love to talk to some more Washington fans. So if you're a Washington fan, send me a message, by the way. Not you, Dan. You live with me. Someone else. And tell me how you're feeling about Ovechkin only taking you past the second round once in 20 years.
I don't think you care. 'Cause you won a cup. No, man, it's like it doesn't matter.
Crosby won Pittsburgh 3.
But I think if you win one cup like that, like even okay,
I
let's
don't
say
think one cup in 20 years is good enough for a guy who's supposed to be the greatest player in NHL history.
I
But I
think
don't
it
think
is.
it's
There's
mad.
32 teams in the league. So in theory, you said win a cup once every 32 years.
No, that's a terrible theory. Look, Jazzy's
not.
supposed to get up and walk away. But speaking of walking away, boys, game's in 3 minutes, so I think it's time we sign off.
Time to get some pizza from
Hey, we'll
family.
see you after the game, boys. Enjoy.
No, we need pizza from Francesco.
If
Yeah.
you go in the
rather-
water, keep kicking.
I will be drinking lots of water. I need to stay hydrated when I yell at Dan when he blames Joseph Woll for allowing a goal on a 4-on-1.
I bet James will drink a few twisted teas.
They're a little too sugary for me now. I need to find like a not as sugary drink. But thank you very much, everyone, for watching the Streakers Island podcast. Looking for more Streakers Island content, follow us on all the Streakers Island podcast social medias. I love saying Streakers Island podcast. Make sure you download the Streakers Gaming app and join us tonight, either in a very good mood or a very bad mood. It'll be one or two. It'll either be one or the other. So thanks for watching. I'm Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst. Lane Dashing Dashko, Mr. More for your money, and
Woo!
the C.
Oh, we got a new comment before we head out.
Oh my gosh! What?
Where?
Thank you, SR.
Yes.
You're very welcome. Glad you
Enjoy the
enjoyed the
game.
stream. Enjoy the game. And we
Last minute comment. Love it. Yes.
we will see everyone after the game for the post game on all the social medias. See you later.
Bye.